All right, guys, I'm going to go over the watch list and what I'm looking for in terms of buying opportunity in August. August tends to be weak. We tend to have a sell off. Usually it's a red month. So a red month means there's more selling, there's more red days than green days. That's what it comes down to. That's what leads to a red monthly candle. So it's kind of gonna be, I would say this month is just gonna be month. If you know what you're doing, you're just looking for dip opportunities. You're looking to buy dips on stocks. Anything that drops, you're just like, yes, thank you, I'm gonna buy more. Because Mara stock had good earnings and it dropped anyways. That doesn't make sense if you think about it. Netflix had good earnings and it dropped. It's been dropping. It's again nothing more than opportunity. So I'm just gonna go over one by one everything that I think is a good opportunity here on the chart. So let's start with Mags. That's a good long-term hold. That one you just dollar cost average into it. You don't try to time anything if you're an investor. Mara stock. It's under. You guys remember the 200 WMA strategy? We haven't used that in a while because everything was going above the 200 WMA. Well, guess what, my friend? The 200 WMA strategy is back on the menu. When the stock price comes back to the 200 WMA or under it, it's a discount. It's a massive buy opportunity, and you can even measure it here. You're getting a massive 30%, about 30% discount. Anyone who got scared when it dropped, from 30 to 10 bucks, they missed out on this run from like 10 to 20. So they missed out on like 50 to 100% depending on where you bought. If you buy at the purple line and just accumulate as it goes lower, you're going to make money. Because this one, we're abusing that pattern of the stock always fluctuating around that purple line. You don't want to be like, Jerry Seinfeld, who ends up selling at a loss, and then George Costanza is the one that ends up making the big bucks because he actually, he didn't understand the technicals, but he was going to either go down with the ship or make money. Well, he made money because, again, stocks fluctuate. And in this case, we're using the purple line as that line in the sand. So if it goes under it, it's nothing more than opportunity. So there you go. Very simple, easy. QUBT. Do I care about QUBT? Let me see. I don't care for it. Palantir. No, it already ran away because of the earnings. APLD, I already made a video on that. You can go check that out. SOAR. Why am I watching SOAR here? Because it's at a bottom. Oh yeah, SOAR is at a bottom. Very risky play. You can see it trends on the. You can see it trends downward on the quarterly. So this is like super risky. Like not the kind of stock you want to hold a bag on because it just keeps falling over the long term. But you know what? Nah. Sybil stock. This one you just want to accumulate it. It has that Palantir partnership. This is one of those stocks that it's quiet for a long time, but then it inevitably drops news when they actually do communicate. They drop news that sends it. So it's just a matter of buying right now when it's quiet, when no one wants it, and then the hype comes back to it and it pumps to like 155, or it pumps to 113, or here it pumps from a low of 002s to 0079, or it pumps to 195. Like this is very clear and obvious pattern. That's why I've just been accumulating as it goes lower. I don't care to time it anymore. I'm not gonna try and time something like this. Just buy. IonQ. It's in a trading range, but I kind of we already missed the boat on that. It's not too. It's already moved away from the bottom of the range. SoundHound, that one was a buy under 10, and it did go under 10 here. So if you were watching this like a hawk, you got your buy opportunity down here. So if you bought under 10, congrats, because I was planning the table on that. Am I going to play SoundHound myself? No, I'm focused on Mara. I don't like to spread myself too thin, buying too many stocks at once, having to keep track of too much. So I kind of just pick and choose like a couple and focus on those. So in this case, Sybil, Netflix, and Mara are my big focuses. Especially, I'm going to focus on anything that I know has a history of pumping and giving me that 30 to 50% dopamine hit, as I mentioned in yesterday's walk and talk video, which was a funny video because when I looked back at that walk and talk video that I made last night, I was like, wait, did I just talk about how to manipulate humans at the neurological level? Like my whole Discord is basically based around, I gave people these little dopamine hits and then a big dopamine hit and then a little dopamine hit, and then big dopamine hit. and that keeps people staying in the Discord, right? Because you're getting these $20 to $50 wins every day, and then the big, 50 to 100% return on the big swing, and then we go back to the baseline, right? So that's I don't know. I just thought that if you didn't watch that, that was just a whole discussion on psychology, really, at that point. I just didn't realize how bad it sounded. Like, yeah, I'm just manipulating people. Little dopamine hits, big dopamine hit. Little dopamine hits, big dopamine hit. Unfortunately, because of the bear market at the beginning of this year, we weren't able to get like. Usually, I try to go for like 4 big dopamine hits, 4 big 50 to 100% wins every year. But we had that bear market, so it's probably just going to be 2 this year, I imagine. We should be getting another 50 to 100% winner by the end of the year, in my opinion. RGTI, yeah, I love this one under 10 and not here, so no thank you. Bull, I don't know anything about Bull to be able to make a call on that. Uranium already at highs, so, congratulations to all the people who were buying. I remember telling people, like, this is like Mara stock. It fluctuates around that purple line, and then, goes under the purple line, then eventually goes back up. So it's just about buy. Yeah, I even have a little note here. Buy at 200 WMA. Guess what? That's where it was a buy. So, congratulations to the people who buy and hold. So that's, I'm not buying up there at 950, obviously. The buy, again, the further away it moves from the purple line, up and away, the more you're paying more of a premium, right? Like at this point, if you're chasing, you're paying almost a 50% premium. Screw that. That's why I'm focused on Mara, because Mara is giving me, it's at the purple line, under it slightly, and it's giving me a 25% discount. So, like, that's never, ever chase anything that's, way too far above that purple line. I think URA is pretty much the same story. It's a little too, I need it to come back down to that purple line so that I know I'm getting a massive discount from highs. Like, if it were to go down to the purple line, I'd get like a 20 to 25% discount. But I don't know if that's going to happen because uranium's very bullish right now. RR stock is kind of they're getting things done, but it hasn't done much of anything, right? It's just kind of stuck here. Like it's in a trading range between 1.8 and short term 2.24, but sometimes it loves to go back to like 280, 2.8. So I think this is fine to buy right here. Like you always want to buy under 2. It's under the purple line as well. And then just hold and flip it either at 220 or hold for 280 plus. So this one's been like a swing trader's dream here. Because it just keeps going down to that bottom. Then it pumps to like 2.20 or beyond it. You can just keep taking the 10 or 15%, rinse and repeat. And that's it. It's a good stock to swing trade because it's so reliable with its patterns. And you can just abuse it for now. We'll see if maybe one day it breaks down and goes back to like $5. But there you go. This one is always a buy down here. Don't be afraid to buy down here. Just buy. If it goes under 1.8, even better. The day it breaks down lower, then you have to be concerned. But as long as it's following the same pattern that it's in, you'll be fine. Color stock here finding support at 5. So I think I said buy at around 5s and had a tight stop at 4.84. And if it goes back to the top of this range, you're going to make quite a bit of money. I already measured it. So, you stand to make 16 to 33%. That's why you buy the bottom of the range, not the top. I don't think I see anything else here. Hood, and nah, I don't care for it. Hood, I don't care for it because it's way too far above that purple line. I need discounts. Nvidia's, again, way far above that purple line. I'm not going to alert calls. I'm going to alert calls maybe if it... Well, technically buying calls would be... Wow, it's... Okay, it dropped $1.35 in after hours. Was there news or something? Did it just drop like that in after hours? Did Trump just announce something or say something? For us to drop like this in after hours? I'll look into it later. But it's too extended. I'm just going to wait to see if it comes down lower. I want to see if it comes down to at least like 160s again before I buy leaps on this again. Yeah, you see, look at that, the semiconductor ETF. What do you see? It looks like it wants to it's been going nowhere. It's just going sideways here. So if Nvidia rolls over, then the semiconductor space will just roll over. By roll over, I mean we literally just, we start coming down to at least probably 280. Yeah, 280-ish, or a retest of all time. Yeah, it would be like 280. Yeah, so it would come down to like 280. We'll see though. We'll see if semiconductors roll over. Because if semiconductors roll over, usually means the stock market is always going to come down, which would just coincide with what I've been saying. August tends to be a red month, so it again, nothing more than buy opportunity. Nightscope, I think, this is the stock that has another. This is another stock that has a Palantir partnership, and just buy the dip, right? Just buy the dip. Anything that works with Palantir, just buy the dip on it. We already bought some here. I don't know if I'm going to add more, but it's just consolidating here. It might go lower. Who cares? Again, stop trying to time bottoms. Is what that's what I've discovered recently. Too many people want to time the bottom exactly, and they want to time the pump exactly too. So they want to buy the bottom, like the exact bottom, to the dollar, and then immediately after they buy, they want it to immediately pump like 100%, which is just ridiculous. So ridiculous. It's even worse if you're an investor. Like, you can't call yourself an investor if you're trying to time things. Like, that doesn't make... Leave that to the people, again, who day trade or swing trade. They're the ones trying to time things. Get good entries and good exits and make their profit. You shouldn't be trying to time anything if you're genuinely believe in the company and you're looking to hold genuinely long term. Genuinely. Too many people, they're pretend investors. The moment stocks start coming down, they get scared and they sell off because they're like, oh, I guess I'm not an investor anymore because it's selling off. Oh, no, I'm afraid it's going to come back down. Like, okay, sure, I guess. Netflix, again, big opportunity. 200 WMA. Every time it comes down to that purple line, that's where I'm going to load big. That is look at that. So consistent. So I look to buy Netflix down here. I hope they do a forward stock split, though. Riot is a buy. What's funny is Mara is under the purple line, but Riot isn't. So I would say if Riot comes down to the purple line, then it's a buy. But as of right now, where it's at, it's not a buy where it's at right now. Mara is actually the better opportunity because it's actually, at the purple line. You're getting the best discount possible. That's why sometimes you want to choose Mara over Riot. But sometimes you want to choose Riot over Mara. It depends on, where they're at. Ethereum, I don't care for this one. I was never going to alert this garbage. I don't trust it, don't care for it, and nor was I going to chase. If this is going to be, if you people are looking to buy Ethereum via the ETF, you would wait for at least the purple line because you'd be getting a massive discount. That's where you would want to buy your calls. You're getting a 31% discount. That's where you would want to load up your calls or shares because that's, again, it's about getting the big discount. I wouldn't want to buy up here. I don't think I'm going to alert that ever, quite frankly. It's too risky. MSTR right at the purple line, which tends to act as support every single time it's come down to it, right? You can see very clear pattern here. Purple line acts as support, bounces off of it, and then it runs a few $100s. So, yeah, I'm holding 10 shares, I believe. So whatever, I don't care. I can hold. I'm fine. I believe it. I believe we're gonna have a red month, and then eventually we're gonna pump again, and we're gonna go into the end of the year pumping, and everything's gonna go to new highs. Like we'll have Bitcoin at 120K plus eventually. It's just a matter of waiting through this the pullbacks. People get excited when everything is just going green, but the moment we pull back, everyone's like doom and gloom. But in reality, when things pull back, that's when you should be getting excited because we're inevitably going to get another pump. That's what this is. It's a rinse and repeat of the same cycle. Pump, come back to the purple line, pump, come back to the purple line, pump, rinse and repeat. So if you were looking to buy calls, it would be like right now compared to, because you're getting, again, it's about getting that big discount. You're getting a 25% discount from highs if you buy calls right now. Around 25%. So there you go. That's AIMD at the bottom of the range here. Classic buy low, sell high. So just buy and hold for the top of the range. This one takes forever to get moving, but when it does, it eventually goes back to the top of the range. And, that's it. You make your money. You take the profit. So sell target at 2.8. NVTS, bottom of the range. If you want to take the risk, it's a buy right now and hold it for 10 plus. Bitcoin. So I noticed something about Bitcoin here. I'm trying to go really fast here because this shouldn't be a 15-minute video, but it is. That's why I don't do the intro or anything like that, because this would be like a 30-minute video. We're trying to get to the point. Bitcoin, I expect this to come down to 108, 110K. And then we're going to find buyers and we're going to start pushing higher, is what I expect. The biggest support is right here. That's where we had to break out to go higher. So I would expect it to come down. Another thing to notice that every time it's consolidated like this, it usually rolls over. So consolidates and rolls over eventually, right? Consolidates and it just rolls over. Rolling over means it kind of drops like 10K or 20K, depending, I guess, on what kind of, whether it's, well, if it's the start of a bear market, it takes even more than that. But it kind of looks it looks toppy, right? It looks kind of the same as, the past. It just kind of goes nowhere and then rolls over and just drops. So looks, pretty much the same thing, right? It's already rolled over short term. If it rolls over for the next month, we would see this come down to at least 108. If it comes down to 100K, that would be shocking if it drops that low. But sure, if it wants to come down to 100K, then it's nothing more than a dip buying opportunity. Because that's the big level. 100K is the big level. 110, 108, that's like, that's a level to watch to see what kind of reaction we get from buyers. But yeah, you got to keep track of Bitcoin if you're trading like Mara and Riot or MSTR, because it tends to lead the Bitcoin miners and the ETFs, etc. And probably Ethereum. I don't know. I'm not gonna pretend like I know if Bitcoin and Ethereum follow each other. What I do know is there's a lot of dip buying opportunities. Pick and choose your battles. I've already picked and chosen mine. Netflix at the purple line. Mara stock is at the purple line, so I'm buying that one. I'm just accumulating like crazy, and I think those two are like the ones that I'm really focused on. I don't really know about everything else. Like I had to pick between Mara and SoundHound, and I was like, Mara's more volatile and it's giving me a bigger discount percentage wise, so I just had to take it. Oh, Sibyl's another one I'm focused on. Those are like the big three I'm focused on right now, because those can net me a 50% plus. Because it's a big swing. Again, we're going for that big dopamine hit. We're looking to give Discord members the big dopamine hit. People love big dopamine hits. The worst thing that can happen to a beginner in the stock market, listen to what I'm about to say. The worst thing that can happen to a beginner is they get the big win on their first trade, because that means they get a massive dopamine hit in their brain, and it feels really good, right? Because they just doubled their money or more. And the problem with that is now they want that same high. So guess what they're gonna do? They're not gonna use strategy. They're not gonna take their 100% and go invest it in something safe. No, they're gonna take that and they're gonna feel like geniuses, because their brain is their own enemy, and they're gonna want that high again. In fact, some people are gonna want a bigger high. So they're going to want an even bigger dopamine hit. So they might not be content with 100% return. They might want 200% return next time. They want to triple, quadruple their money. They want an even bigger dopamine hit. So that's like the worst thing that can happen to a beginner, is they get a really big win on their first trade, because then they just continue to try to, their brain kind of works against them. It's funny how that works. But if you saw yesterday's video, that's kind of how I run my Discord. Let's get these little dopamine hits, these $20 to $50 wins. That adds up. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but $20 over 20 trading days on a green month. Again, August tends to be a red month, so probably not going to be much opportunity to make money. But there's going to be opportunity to position yourself nice and cheap in stocks that are giving you discounts, and then you'll make the 25% plus when we go back to getting those green months. So. But again, you go for the little dopamine hits, $20 here and there. That adds up to like, let's say, what is that? $400 a month just from these little dopamine hits. But then you get the big dopamine hit. You get that 50 to 100% return. And you see your account go from like 10K to 15K or 10K to 20K. And then you realize like, well, actually we can do this like 2 to 3 times a year. And your account will, it'll grow. As long as you're focused on what I trade, right? Because sometimes I alert stock. I don't think I've had a bad call this year other than color stock. I think color stock, Sybil could have been a bad call, but it wasn't, because it turns out it's actually a legit company, and it has a partnership now with Palantir. So I think color stock was the biggest I think that was like my only bad call this year. Someone let me know. I don't remember everything. But I'm pretty sure it was color. Like that was the really bad call. Like, I know for a fact that it was bad because there's people that took like 25%, 30% loss or more. That was like the bad call of the year, which is good. Like, the fact that out of like 200, 300 plus alerts, one was bad, that's good, because there are discords where they give bad calls like a lot more often than that. But anyways, go for that. Right now is the time to position yourself when everything's, on the stocks that are dumping or going nowhere and that are at a discount, so that you can capture that 25 to 50 or 100% when inevitably we have those green months of upside towards the end of the year. That's all I have to say. That's it for the video. I guess join the Discord if you want little dopamine hits followed by a big, high. And yeah, that's it. It's all about making people happy and making them feel like they're winners, because nobody likes losing. If people liked losing in the markets, they would not hold the bag. They'd always take the loss. But people hate losing. So as long as you're making people feel good about themselves and like they're a winner, they stick around. Boom, that's the secret sauce to running a Discord. Make people feel like they're winners. Make them feel good by giving them those dopamine hits. I'll see you in the next one.